One night years ago during my freshman year of college, I was driving back from a friend's house shortly after 3 a.m. The way home led past the local cemetery. It's a simple, poorly lit long stretch of road. What few streetlights are present don't always work, and those that do have a tendency to slowly fade out as the night wears on. Moonlight is sparse as well, since the roadsides are dominated by towering oak and pine trees, whose branches stretch across the roadway and meet overhead, giving one the impression of passing through a tunnel. The road, at least in the direction I was traveling, took you to the suburban area I was living in at the time. I drove slowly out of a concern for safety. The speed limit is 25 mph, but I always cruised along at 15-20 at night here. As I passed the cemetery, I saw a girl hurrying down the road. It was prom night for the nearest high school, and she wore a white dress that glowed when my headlights illuminated her. I remember immediately thinking of how coincidental this was, how it reminded me of folk tales about phantom hitchhikers like Resurrection Mary, apparitions that startle drivers as they mysteriously vanish from moving vehicles. I approached and slowed, and turning, she lifted a hand to call my attention. As she walked towards my car, I could see that she had been crying, her mascara running down her cheeks and smeared where she had wiped her face. In my most reassuring, "I am not a predator" tone, I asked if she was alright and if she needed any help. She climbed into the car and locked the door. There's a park on the other side of the cemetery. Teenagers often visit it at night. The girl told me that she and her boyfriend were at the park when they had an argument. She left him to walk home, cutting through the graveyard as she did. She said that someone was in the cemetery, however, and had begun chasing her. I suggested that we call the police, but she said that she just wanted to get home. As I was pulling off, I looked into my rear view and noticed someone, just a silhouette, sprinting down the road and waving their hands in the air. I accelerated away. My window was cracked and I could hear a male's voice yell, "No, wait, hey man, wait, she's crazy." Once in the car, I took an assessment of her. The white dress was smudged in places. Her slippers were caked in dirt. Up close, she suddenly didn't seem all that young. In fact, she was clearly older than I was. Her hair was red but appeared to be dyed, probably from a natural blonde. She began asking me all kinds of weird things. Did I like the rain? What was my favorite cereal? And so forth. I humored her and drove on. As we reached the suburbs, she said that she wanted to stop at a church. When I politely refused and explained that I just wanted to get her home, she became irritated and eventually angry. It was at this point I accepted that I had made a serious mistake and was, in all likelihood, escorting a mentally unstable person to God knows where. She began fiddling with something in her little purse. I began praying that I wasn't about to be shot or stabbed. I remember thinking to myself, I'd prefer a ghost, like in one of those stories at this point. She eventually guided me to a really nice home. It looked like every light in the house was still on. As I pulled into the driveway, two people, clearly her parents, or so I thought, came spilling out of the door to meet her. They both seemed concerned and showered her with affection, and as her mother led her inside, the father beckoned me out. I began explaining what had happened. He just said to me, "Son, I'm glad you're okay. My niece isn't well." I told him about the story she told me, and he informed me that